But also, let's focus on the realty space. We have management joining us from Sunteck Realty at a time that we're seeing the realty pack come under so much pressure. Sunteck Realty has posted this strong set of numbers. For the December quarter, profits have been reported at 20.6 crore rupees. Let's decode these numbers with President and COO of the company, Mr. Sumesh Mishra is joining us. Mr. Mishra, great to have you with us this afternoon. If you can walk us through the quarterly numbers. There is a good jump on the bottom line, but do tell us if you can walk us through the highlights of this quarter. What has really worked for you?
Hi, good afternoon. So first I'll just quickly take you through this set of numbers. So with regards to the income from operations for this quarter, we have clocked 84 crore rupees versus 77 crore rupees, which is about 10% growth. And in terms of profits after tax, we have clocked 21 crore rupees versus 6 crore rupees, which is a jump of almost 269%. With regards to first 9 months numbers, we have clocked a top line of 814 crore rupees versus 161 crores. So that is almost a 4 times jump in the top line. And also the PAT numbers is 178 crore rupees versus 22 crore rupees, which is more than 7 times jump in our profit numbers. So obviously the major contributor towards profitability and the top line this year for the first 9 months has been our third BKC project. So we have 3 ultra luxury or super luxury projects in BKC: Signature Island, Signia Isle, and Signia Pearl. So we have clocked or booked the top line of Signature Island and Signia Isle in the earlier years, and incremental sales get covered in our this year numbers. This year was primarily obviously contributed by the third project of BKC, which is Signia Pearl, so which is at the juncture of being delivered now. So that is the major contributor to our P&L. And on the operational front, we have done pre-sales of 127 crore rupees in the quarter, and total 471 crore rupees in the first 9 months. So these are the operational as well as the financial highlight for the company for this quarter.
Mr. Mishra, I just wanted to also ask you to just give us a sense of any unsold inventory and also new bookings during the quarter.
Yeah, so overall, we were able to do 127 crore rupees of sales, and we were able to clock good sales at our BKC projects. So the luxury residential segment at our BKC has performed even better post the demonetization, since and we remain optimistic about this residential sale in BKC going forward also, because of this being ready projects and completed projects. And both Signature Island and Signia Isles projects in BKC, they've got OC as well as many celebrated end users have already shifted into the apartments, and more are expected to shift in the next few months. So as and when more and more residents are moving into these apartments, and coupled with the commercial demand which is picking up overall, we are seeing more and more traction coming in at our BKC projects. And also there is a huge demand for lease deals. So a lot of our existing investors or existing customers, they are getting a lot of inquiries, and we are helping them in terms of leasing out their apartments. So a lot of multinationals who are operating out of Bandra-Kurla complex, they are looking at our buildings for leasing out the apartments also. So that is helping the users or the customers also to lease out apartment and get a healthy rental yield on their investments. So
coming in at an interesting time, because all this talk of demonetization affecting the real estate business as well in a big kind of way, and then here you are with your premium project in BKC, which seems to be doing rather well. But can you quantify that for us, the numbers? How many apartments have you sold, and what's the average sale price for the apartments that you're selling in BKC?
So, as you know, these are big ticket apartments. These are into uber luxury or ultra luxury segment, and these ticket size start about 24-25 crore rupees onwards. So we have done about 3 apartment sale in the last quarter, which is the third quarter of FY17. And with regards to what we are seeing is, because as I said earlier, that because these are projects which are completed projects, or the entire complex of 3 projects is getting habitable, we are seeing a large traction in this particular segment of BKC, which is a prime residential segment of BKC.
Sure, Mr. Mishra, just on the other side of the market, you said you're going to be foraying into affordable housing. Just give us a sense as to what sort of investment you will be putting, and are you really looking to raise any funds for that particular dimension?
See, our balance sheet today is, we have negligible debt and we have a strong cash flow visibility. And Sunteck philosophy has always been to, focus on asset-light model, and the strong balance sheet and negligible debt helps us in terms of, as and when we will need money, we can easily raise construction finance. Primarily, the segment that we are looking at now, this is the affordable segment or the value housing segment that we will be looking at. That will be under the JV-JD model, or a joint venture or a joint development model. And with our strong brand and strong balance sheet, we don't really see much of an issue in terms of raising any construction finance, because out of currently our portfolio is of 25 projects, and out of 25 projects, we have construction finance on only 6 or 7 projects. All the other projects are debt-free. And the overall debt, secured debt, is hardly 690 crore rupees versus a net worth of more than 1,760 crores. So in terms of debt to equity, our debt to equity is hardly 0.39:1. So we are pretty, well placed in terms of whenever we require any construction finance towards this segment, we can easily, raise money and fund the construction.
Mr. Mishra, what's the outlook now on the realty space going ahead from here? Because you did mention your interest in the value housing space, like you call it. There is the premium and luxury that has done well for you, at least in the last quarter. But looking at the possibility of price corrections, looking at the impact playing out from demonetization, even going ahead from here, the fact that interest rates have been kept unchanged by the RBI, where is the maximum traction now for the real estate sector, according to you? And what's going to be your game plan at Sunteck?
See, in terms of various segments of real estate, what we have seen is that commercial market has started picking up. So commercial market is doing well. In terms of luxury residential segment, like we have seen that BKC luxury segment is doing well, and this kind of a segment which is targeted towards HNIs and super HNIs, is there the demand is pretty inelastic. There the HNIs or these investors or home buyers, they look for a good brand, good location, and zero risk in terms of delivery. So once the project is delivered, these kind of projects like BKC, where we have seen the traction maintained, or in fact the traction has been growing in the last few quarters. The other segment or the mid-ticket size or the smaller ticket size segment, we did see some drop in footfalls and very low conversions during the November-December because of the overall sentiment post the demonetization. However, with the interest rates on a downward trajectory, where we have seen the interest rates post 31st December coming down, we are already seeing that the footfalls have started coming back. And January, I would not be able to give you much forward-looking statement, but January, February, in the last 40-45 days, we have seen that the footfalls have gone back to pretty much the similar level of pre-demonetization. And we will shortly believe that we believe that the conversion should also start happening in the next, say, 2 to 4 months time frame. So that kind of a segment of the smaller ticket size should see the market coming back in the next 2 to 4 months. And in terms of price correction, if you see real estate prices in the last 3 to 5 years, most of the pockets in various cities have not seen much of a price escalation. In fact, price has more or less remained stable. So if you see the time value of money or time value, in terms of time value, real estate prices have already corrected. And if you take inflation into account, the property prices have already corrected. So we really don't see much of a price correction. And in fact, for the good brands, we have seen that there is a huge demand, there is a good demand, and strong brands with a good execution track record will continue to do well. So this is, in a nutshell, I believe the going forward, this would be the way for real estate.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mishra, for taking us through that. That Sunteck Realty really giving us a sense as to how the business is working and the road ahead as well. But we have, of course, more conversations on the show for you. Mercator, of course, has posted a stellar set of numbers for the December quarter, and revenue is up 170.